Welcome to Python in 5 minutes. We're going to cover the essentials quickly, so grab a coffee and let's jump right in. So, what's Python? It's a popular programming language, known for its simplicity and readability. Python is like the Swiss Army knife of coding. It's used in web development, data science, AI, and much more. But let's keep things simple. Today, you're learning the basics that'll make you feel like a coding genius in no time. Let's start with variables. In Python, variables are like labeled storage boxes where you can keep information. They're incredibly useful because they allow you to save values that you might need to reference multiple times in your code. Creating a variable in Python is as simple as typing a name, adding an equals sign, and then putting in the value you want to store, like this. Here, x is our variable that holds the number 5, and name is holding the text Anna. Python has several basic data types, so let's go through the most important ones. Integer, these are whole numbers, like 5 or 100. Float, used for numbers with decimals, like 3.14. String, strings are sequences of text, written with quotes, like hello. Boolean, booleans are simple true/false values. Variables in Python are dynamic, meaning you don't need to declare their type. Python just figures it out based on the value you give it. So if you say age equals 25, Python knows age is an integer. The only rule here is that you can't mix incompatible types without converting them. For instance, trying to add a string and a number together will cause an error. User input. To make your program interactive, you can use the input function. This lets you capture input from the user. Here's a simple example. When you run this code, it will pause and wait for the user to type in their name, then it'll greet them using whatever they typed. It's a quick way to make your code feel a little more interactive. If-else statements. Let's talk about decision-making with if and else statements. These statements let Python make choices based on conditions you set. Here's an example where we check if a number is greater than 10. In this code, if x is more than 10, Python prints x is greater than 10. Otherwise, it prints x is 10 or less. This is a powerful feature because it lets your code respond differently based on the situation, making it more flexible and functional. You can add more conditions with elif, but we'll keep it simple for now. Loops. Now, let's move on to loops, which are ways to repeat actions in your code. Python has two main types of loops, but for now, we'll focus on the for loop. A for loop is great for when you know how many times you want to repeat something. Here's a quick example that counts from 0 to 4. The range, 5, function generates numbers from 0 up to, but not including, 5. So this loop will print 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, each on a new line. Loops like this are useful for tasks that involve repetition, like going through each item in a list or counting things. While loops. Now that we've seen for loops, let's talk about while loops. A while loop repeats an action as long as a certain condition is true. It's great when you don't know in advance how many times you'll need to repeat something. Here's a quick example where we count down from 5 to 1. In this code, we set count to 5 and use the while loop to keep printing the value of count as long as it's greater than 0. After each print, we subtract 1 from count with count dash equals 1. Once count reaches 0, the loop stops, and we print blast off. One tip for while loops, make sure the condition will eventually become false, or your code will run forever. That's called an infinite loop, and while it sounds cool, your computer might not appreciate it. Functions. Functions in Python let you group code into reusable blocks. Once you define a function, you can call it any time without having to rewrite the code inside it. Let's look at a quick example. Here, def is used to define a function named greet, and it takes one argument, name. When we call greet, Anna, it runs the code inside the function, replacing name with Anna, so it prints out hello, Anna. Functions are incredibly helpful for organizing your code, and they make it easier to debug and extend later. Lists. Last but not least, let's talk about lists. A list is a type of collection that lets you store multiple values in one variable. Think of it as a container where you can add, remove, or access items. Here's an example of a list in Python. In this code, fruits is a list containing 3 strings, apple, banana, and cherry. The for loop here goes through each item in the list and prints it. Lists are useful for keeping track of groups of items, whether it's names, numbers, or even other lists. Wrap up. And there you have it. In just a few minutes, we've covered the essential building blocks of Python. Variables, user input, if-else statements, loops, functions, and lists. These basics are more than enough to get you started writing simple Python programs and to explore more on your own. With these tools, you can go on to create anything from small scripts to complex applications. Remember, coding is all about practice, so keep experimenting, and don't worry if things seem confusing at first, it'll get easier with time. Thanks for watching, and happy coding!